Good morning, CB, and welcome to your Tuesday edition of KBFT. I'm Jackson Long.
And I'm Emma Bradford. As I'm sure everyone knows, today is the first collection day for the magazine drive.
Although we all know utter domination by Hogan's B set is inevitable. Miss Bowers will soon be dethroned, and Mr. Havey and Mr. Anderson just simply cannot compete. As for Mr. English, the pizza is going to be delicious, and maybe we will save you a slice, but probably not.
So remember to keep selling magazines to try and compete with us.
In honor of Holy Bowl, this week is Blue Out Week. There will be a rally during Falcon Flex Thursday, followed by a Spirit Day and block party on Friday. Guidelines for the Spirit Day will be posted around campus.
At the block party, we will be tie-dyeing shirts. If you'd like to do this, you can either bring your own or buy one for $5.
Let's head it over to kick it over to the Talon. This year, the Talon is now being brought to CB Kids Online. Their website, cbtalon.com, was launched yesterday.
Drew Morris has the story.
cbtalon.com. We're Christian Brothers' new student-run content website. A group of aspiring journalists providing the student body with compelling articles that are written by the students for the students. Come check out the latest sports recap, or take a look back at a recent Christian Brothers event. Whether you're looking to find out about the newest club or learning about Mr. Hunley's high school life, cbtalon.com is the go-to website for your Falcon news. Our committee does its best to uncover the latest stories, but we also need your suggestions as to how we can better those stories and the site itself. So hop onto cbtalon.com, check out an article or two. Make sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at cbtalon. Feel free to send us your ideas and suggestions. cbtalon.com, hot off the nest.
Part of all the construction and change that is going on this year includes the new library located in the Tech Center. The new library is operating a little differently than last year, so Maddie went to get the facts.
You may have noticed that the library has a new location, new librarian, and new policies. We went to talk to Mrs. Mahan, the new librarian, to find out about all of these changes.
There are a few new procedures in the library this year. Mrs. Mahan's rules in the library is that you are positive, productive, and professional. You do not need to be perfect, but you should be working productively on an assignment. One of the new policies that we have this year is the sign-in sheet for the computer. You will see a little sign that says, "Please sign in at the front desk to use computer." It's over here right by my desk, and all you have to do is put your name, the period, the time, like if it's break or lunch, and the computer number. All of the computers are numbered. The purpose of this is to make sure that students are being held accountable. We don't have a lot of time because we only have 20 desktops, so we don't have a lot of time for students to do recreational use of computers, and also to do some data collection. We're hoping to expand the library in 2 years, and so I'm collecting data on how many students are using computers at what time.
This has been Maddie McLeod reporting for KBFT Sacramento.
Well, hello there, Christian Brothers. This is your terrific Twitter Tease Tuesday. Hopefully I'm not swaying back and forth right now. Well, anyways, this week is Spirit Pump Up for Holy Bowl Go Crazy Week. But before we dive into it, all the great Holy Bowl tweets, first let me discuss a few things. Firstly, Miss Winkett says, "CB, you are people of dignity and worth. You hear that, CB? No more hanging your head in the hallways because you're a freshman, or crying in the bathroom stall because Miss Blonde and Beautiful didn't respond to your text. You have worth." Also, Connor Williamson says, "Wear a bigger sized shirt." All right, well, Connor, I'm going to let you into my logic. Why go to a gym and get huge when I can just wear a smaller shirt? Work smarter, not harder. Now we go to our Holy Bowl tweets, and our first comes to us from Matthew R. Cure. "Football is going to bring home the gold this year. It's getting violent, people. Put the kids to bed. Hashtag Holy Bowl. Hashtag crucial. Hashtag yee yee." That's right, Matthew. Tuck the kids in bed. The only babies we'll be dealing with is those Jesuits. But violence is not the answer. The answer is screaming for your team, wearing your school colors, praying that the Falcons bring in the win. Oh, and also doing a freaking kick-butt roller coaster. Everyone wants to take a ride on the roller coaster. Benjamin Taylor says, "The Swede station that's sweeping the nation is a bigger secret weapon than North Korea's nuclear program. Hashtag CBFTW. That stands for the win. Well, to be honest, Ben, I know nothing about North Korea and its nuclear endeavors, but I do know that the Swede station is definitely a secret weapon, a weapon we are ready to put into combat. And our last few tweets comes to us from Mark C.J. Bumate, and he says, "CB Falcons are going to peck and or poke the Jesuit Marauders' eyes out. Hashtag Holy Bowl." But that's not all, folks. There's more. He also says, Yes, CB Falcons are definitely going to peck the Jesuit Marauders' eyes out. Falcons have sharp beaks. Hashtag Holy Bowl. Duh, Falcons have sharp beaks. I mean, have you seen those things? Obviously, in a situation where a Falcon and a Marauder go at it, the Falcon's going to be on top. P.S. CB, go absolutely nuts at Holy Bowl. Yell till your lungs give out. Be ready to cheer and roller coaster and just get rad. So that's it for me, CB. If you haven't followed us yet, follow us at KBFT Student. Stay clutch, CB.
Hey there, CB. I'm Stephen Hennessy, back with your KBFT Sports. As you guys may know, this is Spirit Week. I expect to see a lot of blue being worn around campus. Make sure to bring that spirit tonight to St. Francis when our girls take on the St. Francis Troubadours and the annual Holy Court match tonight at 6:30. Tickets are still available. The next game for our unbeaten football team is the Holy Bowl this Saturday night. Kickoff is scheduled for 7. Make sure to buy your tickets. In other football news, the Oakland Raiders fell to the San Diego Chargers 22-14 last night on Monday Night Football. However, the other team that plays ball in the Oakland Coliseum would be those red-hot Oakland A's. They have won 4 in a row after last night's 3-1 victory over the Angels. They hold the top spot in the AL wildcard. Unfortunately, the Giants came up a bit short last night in Colorado, falling 6-5. Their division lead on the Dodgers has dropped to 5 games. Don't worry, Madison Bumgarner takes the ball tonight to get the boys back on track. CB's varsity soccer team has been playing really well as of late. Here's a recap of last week's exciting win over El Camino.
You ready? Let's go! Yeah. For those of you that want to know what we're all about, it's like this, y'all. Come on. This is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, and 100% reason to remember the name. He doesn't need his name up in lights, he just wants to be heard, whether it's the beat of the mic. He feels so unlike everybody else, alone, in spite of the fact that some people still think that they know. But no, he knows the code. It's not about the salary, it's all about reality and making some noise, making a story, making sure his click stays up. That means when he puts it down, Todd's picking it up.
I'm Andrew McGee with today's announcements. Today, September 11th, it's the first collection day for the magazine drive.
It is the best day for prizes. The only day where Holy Bowl tickets and CB socks are offered. The first magazine drive, Jeans Day, is Monday, September 17th, so turn in 3 orders today to receive the prizes. Applications for enrollment in the California Scholarship Federation will be available in Brother Edward Hall and room 408 through Tuesday, September 18th. Enrollment is based on grades from last semester, so you must have a copy of your grades for verification. If you have questions, please see Ms. Jenkins after school in room 408. In Wellspring news, Wellspring will be closed Friday, September 14th and September 21st. First day of cooking will be Friday, September 28th at 6 a.m. in Bertram Hall Kitchen. Christian Service Corps members, there will be meeting at lunchtime Thursday in the LSLO. Also, the American River Parkway cleanup is Saturday, September 15th from 9 a.m. to noon. In counseling news, there are 4 colleges visiting this week. Check the bulletin for more information. Now let's turn to Alex Daly for some special commentary on 9/11.
Good morning. My name is Alex Daly, and I'm one of the 2 executive producers of KBFT along with Brianna Pressey. We've been asked to prepare a segment to commemorate the most memorable event of this day, and I would like to be perfectly clear about the nature of what I'm going to say. This is not a news story. It's a commentary, an essay of sorts, really, that I hope might remind us of the world in which we now live. 1 year ago, I produced a story that began with a piece composed by Samuel Barber in 1936. This famous piece of music, Adagio for Strings, has been called by Thomas Larson America's secular hymn for grieving the dead. It has been played at the funerals of FDR, Albert Einstein, and JFK, and on September 15th, 2001, it was conducted by Leonard Slatkin, an American, with the BBC Orchestra. You see, 4 days earlier, America was under attack. I don't remember the day, I hardly remember the year, and I don't remember the feeling. The feeling of terror escaped me as completely as the ash that smothered the streets of New York on that fateful September morning. My grandfather, a Korean War veteran, called my grandmother to announce succinctly that the world was coming to an end. He said it as though it were a matter of fact. I didn't learn of this conversation until well after my opportunity for childhood trauma had passed, as had my grandfather. My parents were obsessive about averting my eyes and my ears from the newscasts. But I have something of an obsession now with these events, now 11 years removed. I often find myself scouring the internet for footage I hadn't seen before, for live and breaking coverage that scattered the airwaves that I had missed as a child. I want to connect to the feeling of panic, of total and utter lack of control that embeds so many of the adults in my life. I feel, as I'm entering into a world of maturity and adulthood, that I've missed an experience that has shaped every American's conscience, as though some part of my heart as a citizen of this country is missing. I was born in 1995, July 16th to be exact. I was rather recently 6 years old and have no reason to remember a pre-9/11 world. I'm confident many students in this school find themselves in this position. The only foreign policy I've lived through has been focused on terror in the Middle East, and the longest war in American history happens to coincide with the extent of my recollection. It seems strange to me that we have paid so little attention to the 11th anniversary of 9/11 compared to that which we paid on the 10th. We assign so much significance to the 10th anniversary of things because our number system is based on increments of that iconic numeral. But every year on this day, we engage in a macabre American tradition. We remind each other, at least those of us who can, where we were on September 11th, what we were doing, who we were, and how, more often than not, we were never the same. I can't share this conversation with anyone. Neither, I suspect, can most of you. Our generation will be the generation that produces more questions than anecdotes about this day. Perhaps that was the reason I didn't treat the death of Osama bin Laden as a national holiday. I have no doubt that our world is better off in his absence, but I did not feel compelled to hoist an American flag on the lawn of my home. Closure escaped me. It escaped many people. It wasn't that moment that made me proud to be an American. It seems like such a trite phrase until you experience it for the first time. It comes every time I recall a story aired on a Chicago public radio station shortly after September 11th. People had gathered in a Chicago street that happened to be one of the largest Arab American neighborhoods in the region. Two sides faced one another, flags draped out of windows and on the back of cars. A group of mostly young, white men shouted repeated chants of USA at Arab American residents, who shout the same phrase back. The atmosphere is clearly antagonistic. One man says, and I quote, "We're sick of the Arabians being here, and we want them to get out of our country. I think you can see the degradation," his pronunciation, not mine, "of the neighborhood," end quote. At any rate, the same man continues shouting his chant until he is handed a big flag that takes at least two to hold. At some point, the other end, once held by a fellow Anglo-American, is passed to an Arab American. Their eyes eventually meet, and when both realize that neither can bear to drop the flag, they march together down the street. I'm not a particularly patriotic person. I don't consider myself qualified to make the judgment that America is the best country in the world. But we are, if nothing else, a nation of those who cope, who forgive, and begrudgingly move on. I don't want to end without first thanking you for the time you've spent with me this far, and I certainly don't want to end with a moment of silence. In fact, I propose quite the opposite. Let's take instead a moment of discussion, perhaps now, perhaps later, to reflect on the world we've created and the mistakes we've made along the way, in the light of the 11 years offered after the passing of this national tragedy. It is, as far as I can tell, the most American thing we can do. This has been Alex Daly for KBFT, Sacramento.
Thank you, Alex. That's it for today, CB. Remember, the sets today are A, B, G, C, E, D, F.
For Jackson Lawn, Jenner Chapman, Stephen Hennessy, and the rest of the KBFT crew, I'm Emma Bradford. Have a great day, and we'll see you again on Friday.